welcome to my girl boss habits to do in 2019. The first thing I want to do is definitely want everyone to grab a cozy drink. We're gonna be cozy. My boss lady mug appears in all of my girl boss videos, and we're usually drinking coffee, except today I already had like 4 cups today, so pretend that I'm drinking coffee, but we're gonna drink orange juice. Such a cozy day today. It's actually cold in LA, which doesn't really happen. Anyways, back to today's video. We're gonna have some orange juice. I'm weird. I like to mix water in my juice. And there we go. Let's head to my room. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today is day 10 of Vlogmas. Let's just be cozy, hang out, and make this one count. So these kind of videos are kind of like tradition on my channel. Right before the new year, I do start my girl boss hacks and really just getting excited about this fresh, clean start that we're about to have. And for that reason, it is my favorite time of year. I want to talk to you guys about girl boss habits to have in 2019. And in this video, we're gonna get real. We're gonna talk about things that might be uncomfortable to talk about, or we're gonna talk about things that it's like, ooh, YouTubers really don't talk about that sometimes, like saving money, where I save money. You know, for me, when I'm watching videos like this, I get a lot of really great ideas and I'm like, yes, I love that, that's so exciting. And you know, you're listening more, you're turning up the volume, like, yeah, this tip really applies to me. You should really save more money. And you're like, yeah, I really should. And then they're like, okay, on to the next tip. But how do I do this? So I guess you could say we're gonna spill some tea. But not really though, because Jared will have a fit. So girl boss habit number 1 that you should have in 2019 is figuring out a way that you are going to stay organized and you're going to plan. So this year, 2019, moving forward, save myself some money, save myself some trouble, and I'm not going to buy a planner. Yeah, I know. I have recently found what works for me and I don't have to buy anything else. I do not have to get a planner, and I'm going to show you guys what that is right now. So I have been obsessed with Google Calendar. One, because you can put it on your laptop, your computer, and also it syncs to your phone, and I like to add colors. As you can see, I changed all the colors. I made everything cute and pink. You can customize it like this, and just you can even add different colors. Showing you November, not this month because I have some personal dates and addresses, phone numbers and stuff, so I'm just showing you last month. And so this is my phone, and as you can see, everything is on there as well, the same colors, and I just feel like it just keeps me more organized because when I'm out and about, it syncs right to my phone and vice versa. That's how I'm going to be planning for 2019, and it's great because I don't have to buy anything else. I don't have to force myself to do a method that's just not going to work for me, and I do like I said, that everything is synced and are in both places, so that's great. And the same with notes on my phone. Now, one thing I do want to get, and I need a new one, and it's not just for the new year, I just go through them so fast, are notebooks. I do believe in the power of writing things down and jotting down your feelings and what's going on, maybe a food diary, maybe ideas you have, resolutions you have, scripting. So if you like to practice the law of attraction and you like to write things down and goals and manifest and vision boards and all that, I do still believe in the power of a good notebook, just the old-fashioned way. Definitely not knocking down, you know, the power of writing things down. I definitely believe in a notebook. But if you're like me and you just don't stick to planners, they're kind of a waste of money for you because you halfway through the year you stop using them. Like, I'm one of those people, I will get excited about a planner the first week, the first month even. Last year I made it to 3 months using my planner, and that was like, but then I realized it just doesn't work for my life, and that I get ideas just in the car when Jared's driving and I just want to jot something down. I might not have my planner, or somebody calls me and I'm at a workout class and I want to jot it down. It's so much easier to put it in Google Calendar than it is to just always have the planner, and I'm just not one of those people that's going to transfer it. So I think you just have to figure out what's going to work for you. My second girl boss habit that I think a lot of you guys will like, because I talked about it in the Assumptions About Me video, I said that I'm a people pleaser. I will, you know, use a lot. There's only so much energy you can have in a day, and I really like to take pride in the fact that I do a lot to have good energy, and I feel like I'm always there for other people, and then sometimes I miss out on helping myself, if that makes sense, or I miss out on mental health, I miss out on, you know, quality family time, or I'll skip a workout and then I'll kind of be annoyed with myself that like, oh, I skipped that, like that was part of my routine. I'll put others before myself. So my second girl boss habit is to know when to say no. I think that we're living in such a society now where it's like hustle, go, 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 hustle, go, 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 make connections, go to events, go to this, do that, and you know, put yourself out there. There's not like a ton of discussion on well, what are ways that we can say no to things and not feel guilty about them? Because I know sometimes when I'm saying no to something, I kind of feel guilty. Maybe you guys can relate. Definitely comment down below if you do, but sometimes I'll say no to a work event because I want to stay home and edit a video. I'll feel guilty because I'm like, well, maybe I should have gone work related and I should be putting myself out there and this and that. If you're like me and you also get like this too, where when you say no to something, you then have that sudden guilt where you're like, oh, I should have went, or you don't, at this point you might as well have gone, because what you're doing now and staying home, you don't even feel good about doing because you're like, I just should have gone, and you're just sitting there thinking about it. So if you're one of those people like me, one thing that I have realized is that years from now, I'm not going to remember. I am going to remember the quality time and the people that I surround myself with and not feeling burnt out, because if you overextend yourself, you're really not bettering yourself. You're not really doing anything beneficial if you are just constantly go, 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 go. I started thinking about it like that, and then somebody commented on my assumptions about me video and said something that, I mean, after I read it, it was so powerful, and I told them, I was like, what you just said was so powerful. But every time you're saying no to something, you're also strengthening your yes. So you're strengthening the yes to you. Whatever you're trading it with, you're strengthening your relationship with yourself. Something's gotta give. You cannot do it all. You cannot be all places at all times doing all things. Okay, the next tip is such a powerful tip. This is one of my favorite tips as far as getting things done. Maybe it's not the most exciting thing, but you know you gotta do it, and it's really hard to stay focused and get it all done. So this is my next tip for that, as far as staying focused and just doing the damn thing. And that is, so say you have an annoying task. For me recently, it was my taxes, and I kept putting it off. Maybe for you, it's math homework, or for me, college Sam, it was calculus. I say this in a lot of videos, but I really mean it. I really want you guys to do this in 2019, because if you can do this, you're going to change your life. You're going to see things just magically get done. Except it's not magic. You're actually doing it, but you're going to see everything get done. And that is, I want you to remove the distractions. So if you don't need your phone for this, if you don't need your computer, I want you to remove those things, put them in another room, turn off the TV, to sit, and I want you to do the task you don't want to do first. Start there. Put on a timer. What I like to do is I put on a 30-minute timer, and I say, okay, let me get done as much as I can in 30 minutes. And if after that 30 minutes I want a break, I'm gonna take a break. This works for everything. You need to clean your house, which is like so unmotivating for me. I'm like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to make my bed. I don't want to clean my room. What I'll do is I put on my timer. Let me just see what I can get done. You could even put it to 10 minutes. Let me just see what I can get done in 10 minutes. Let me just have that motivation to say, let me devote 10 minutes to this task that I don't want to do, and let's take it from there. After the 10 minutes, if I don't want to do it, I can stop doing it. You will see that 1, you will not even need to take a break because you're like, you know what, this isn't so bad. Let me get it done. 2, you will finish it faster. You don't want to procrastinate and leave that to the task then again tomorrow. It's on your to-do list again. So girl boss habit number 4 is to get your finances in order in 2019. Want to be a girl boss, you got to get your finances in order, and that doesn't necessarily mean making a lot more money or never spending on yourself and you can never treat yourself and all that. No, it's not. We're not going to talk about anything scary or anything like that. What I'm saying is just get them in order. Understand what you are spending every month, what you're making every month, and last but not least, having a good credit score. I think I've said in previous videos, a good credit score is sexy. Let me tell you, if you have a good credit score, you're going to open so many doors. You're going to be able to rent your dream apartment. You're going to have options. I know in LA, it wasn't even always about how much money you made or how much money you had saved. When we first moved to LA, it was literally, guys, 90% credit score, because you have to look at it from the landlord's standpoint. Are you going to be trustworthy enough to rent from them? Are you going to be paying them rent every month? Because if you miss out on rent, then they have to pay the mortgage. So of course they want to look at your credit history. Your credit history is like an open book for them to see, okay, does this person just take out credit cards, spend money they don't have, and then never pay back the bank? And it's the same when you get a mortgage. You need to have good credit, and one great way to build credit is with credit cards. And I know a lot of times people think, oh, credit cards are so bad, this and that, but as long as you're paying them off, then they're not. And they're actually not bad, and they're doing good for you because they're helping you build credit. And the same thing when you get a car, you have to show your credit score. I definitely want you guys to care about this. I know it's not always the most fascinating thing, it's not the most interesting thing, but you do have to care about your finances, and you have to be in a good financial standpoint. So I'm going to answer a few questions about my personal finances, just because I always get asked this and I feel like it'll be easier to explain. This is just how I do things. I know not everyone does them like this, but I always get asked, do me and Jared share finances? And we actually don't. So there's some bills that I pay, there's some bills that he pays. We share in a sense that we'll split bills because we do live together, but we don't have a joint savings account or anything like that. So because of that, I do do have to make sure I'm saving, because it's not like, oh, we're both putting money, oh, this month he saved a little extra for our joint account, great, or vice versa, I saved a little more for us. No, it's everything is on my own. This is a method that works for me as far as saving goes. I think you're never gonna, I always say this, you're never gonna wake up one day and be like, damn, I saved too much money. It's never a bad idea to save. In fact, you'll one day wake up and be like, why did I spend that much money on a purse? You know the expression your grandparents and your mom and dad always say, you know, save it for a rainy day. It's so important to save, and if you're currently not saving, I want that to be one thing on your list as far as your goals and your resolutions go in 2019, is to definitely make saving a priority. So the way I personally save has worked really well for me because I cannot see it every day, and the fact that I can't see it is a good thing for me, and it's also a little hard for me to get into my savings. So you know, when you have your debit card, it has your checking, so that's the money that you could spend every time you swipe your debit card, it comes out of there, and then you have your savings. I actually don't put savings in my debit card. I was doing it like this at one time, and that's how I know it doesn't work. There were times when I was definitely dipping into my savings when I didn't need to. Now, I understand when times get rough and you have to use your savings. Like, you have to. That's what it's there for. You saved it. But there were times that I was dipping that I didn't need to. That it was just more of a want than a need. It wasn't like I was going to go hungry. Maybe I want to be a little more comfortable and dip into my savings. And for me, that just didn't feel good because you work so hard, and saving is a really hard thing to do. It's hard to build up a big savings, especially now. Like, being a human is so expensive. There's so many bills. Even if you don't think you're saving a lot at all, the fact that you're doing it is amazing because it's really hard to save. So what works for me is I have my savings in an entirely different account, and I do have a financial advisor that helps me with things like investments and saving for my retirement. I know I'm in my 20s. Never too late to start saving for your retirement. So I went to school for finance, but when I was in college, I did intern for an investment company. My old boss, when I was interning for him, he's actually now my financial advisor. And I just felt comfortable because I know everybody that works there. It's a small company. When I got to the age where I felt like I can start saving for my retirement and start, you know, investing in small things, I reached out to him and I was like, I want to invest. That's how I came across finding a financial advisor. For example, you can go into Chase Bank and you can sit down and you don't even have to make a decision right there, but you can say, you know what, I want to sit down with a financial advisor and just talk about my options, talk about how much I should start putting away, and they'll help you map it out. They're benefiting when you're saving. So it's kind of like another person in charge of your money, and I think for me that's helped because whenever I do want to take money out of my saving, he'll be like, well, what is it actually for? Like, what do you think that this is worth it? Usually when we have this discussion, it's usually not my money at the end of the day. It's my hard-earned money that I saved, and if I want to take it out, I can. But it is that extra person being like, listen, let's talk about your options. And there has been times where I was like, no, after this discussion, I still want to take it. So there has been times where I've taken it, and then there's times where I'm like, you know what, you're right, I want to hold on. Saving is a good idea, and really just living within your means. Yeah, I know I always use this example, but I always go back to this because I think that we're living in such a social media time where people are taking pictures of all their things and this and that. You don't have to impress anybody with things. I don't have designer bags, I don't have designer shoes, and does that make me a bad person? No, of course not. And it's funny because designer stuff that I wanted last year, I don't even want this year. I'm like, ugh, that's not my taste anymore. So it's funny because my taste keeps changing. Two winters ago, I bought this small YSL bag and I ended up selling it because it just was not my style, and it was the only designer bag I ever bought, and I was just like, you know what? No. I was actually happy because I actually got a good amount for it because I barely ever used it, and that's again why I sold it. But then when I sold it, I actually took the money that I used to get that bag and I put it into my retirement. So, and that made me feel really good. And I'm not saying you can never treat yourself to a bag. Of course, if you want to treat yourself to something designer, why not do it? What I'm saying is I don't want you guys to feel pressured to have designer things just because we are in such a social media, like, look what I have, look what I have. You never have to keep up with the Joneses. You don't have to live outside of your means to put a cute outfit together. I find lookalike stuff all the time. Like, okay, if I were gonna spend money on anything, it'd be the Stuart Wiesman or Wiseman, I don't know how to pronounce it, but the over-the-knee boots. The Chinese laundry ones that I have look identical. Like, people will actually stop me and they'll be like, wait, which Stuart ones are those? And I'm like, they're not. Two pieces of advice as far as finance goes that are gonna be really important, especially if you could start young, is when you put money on a credit card and when your bill is due, pay it off in full. And again, that's why spending in your means is so important, because if you're buying things that you can't really afford, so say you are like, okay, I'll buy a Chanel bag and I'm gonna pay it off in this many payments, that actually does hurt your credit. And the second piece of advice is the saving. Again, like I said, let's just say it one more time, you will never regret saving money. My fifth girl boss habit to have in 2019 is to support your fellow girl bosses. I can't even explain to tell you how important this is. It's really hard to put yourself out there and to get whatever it is you're doing started, and it's just like when you start to get that support from your friends or your friends' friends or other people or strangers and whatever the case may be, when you start to get that support, it starts to give you confidence and build yourself up. Whenever I can support my friends, I do. For example, this is my friend Alex Garza's shirt, and you can get this on her shop, Good to Be, so I will leave that down below. And then my phone case, which you guys always ask about because they really are the cutest cases. Allie and Tony Sevdalis, they are sisters, they're on YouTube, and they have a phone case and jewelry line, so I will leave that down below, but their phone cases are bomb. I drop my phone about 1,000 times a day. It never cracks. Like, I never have a crack in my case. And a side note to that is I do hope that in 2019 we can move away from so much constructive criticism and we can really support one another. And I understand constructive criticism really does help. Like, I know with, you know, certain videos and stuff, you guys will give me constructive criticism and that really does help. But we all know there's a difference between wanting to hate and disguising it as constructive criticism or actual constructive criticism. Is it going to be useful, or is it possibly going to hurt somebody's feelings? And at the end of the day, is it even a big deal to bring up? And my last girl boss tip is to read. Expand your mind, expand your vocabulary, learn something new. We don't know it all. There's always times and always ways for us to learn more. So in October, during Vlogtober, I did film my reading list, and I'm going to be honest, I thought I was going to get through like everything on my reading list, and I didn't, because one, didn't make it a priority. Two, I got really busy with, and this is an excuse, don't make excuses in 2019, but this is, I'm gonna let you know my excuse, is in November, it was my birthday, we went away, it was Thanksgiving, blah, 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 blah. There's always 5 minutes to read before. So I will leave that video down below so you guys can see my reading list, because I want to get through all of those books. What I want to get through right now is The Power, The Power of Now. Times #1 bestseller, over 5 million copies sold, and one of my friends is reading this book, and we want to be like that movie, The Book Club, and discuss, and I think that that is so cool if you can find somebody reading the same book. I just love the way a new book smells. I'm going to make this a priority, and every single night I'm going to read. Those are my girl boss habits. I would love for you guys to share what are your habits that I should try in 2019 and things that you want to do in 2019. I would love to hear some of your ideas and try some new things. So I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.